And here we are, once again, doing a little bit of relationship advice pulled straight from Reddit. A lot of people who give advice out there completely suck at it, and I'd like to think that I am not one of those people. So let's get right into it. I'm probably going to be going for about 3.5 hours, broken into 7 smaller segments. But, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying something new. So, we're just on what's hot right now. First one, I'm not going to do this throwaway one, but the one right under it, my husband said he was told he needed to go to India for his job to deal with a huge donation of oxygen his company was making. The truth is, he volunteered, and I'm out of my mind with anger. So, without getting like really into this, the reason the wife is probably as upset as she is that when you think of where we are with the coronavirus, certainly where I live in the United States, I'm not a full expert on it, but I'd assume that people in the UK and Germany, they're probably feeling the same way that I do, and the way that I believe a lot of other people within the United States feel. And that is that in terms of where we stand with the coronavirus, it feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Whether you are deathly afraid of it, whether you think that it's stupid and we shouldn't have ever locked down, we're all at least unified in believing that it feels like it's almost over. In India, however, that's not really the case. In places, like I've listed off, the United States, UK, Germany, and whatnot, it feels like it's going away, but if you look at the raw numbers of COVID, right now is actually worse than it's ever been. Again, just in terms of raw numbers. And a lot of that has to do with places like India that completely shut down, and they never really had the waves that we had. So her husband volunteered kind of sounds like you guys maybe haven't been married that long. The fact that he would just volunteer himself for something so massive and so major, maybe he felt like it was something he needed to do. Has your husband been vaccinated? If yes, then perhaps this is not as big of a deal as you believe it is. Let's actually go into it, because I saw a couple things that kind of really do add. So, edit, lots of people asking about life insurance because he's always traveled internationally. So much his company provides a very generous policy in addition to death benefits that's doubled or close to it if he dies. So, your husband is already traveling a lot. And you're upset with this. This is something that you either knew before you married him, or you accepted it after you had married him. My husband is an American employee of a British/Indian chemical company, and he was just promoted to VP of American Logistics. Okay. Sounds like he's got an important place within this company. I don't think that I even have to go through and continue reading this. I feel like in the reality is that your husband, he's already made up his decision. Right there, he said he's going no matter what. Perhaps he's trying to prove himself to this company. He was promoted to a high-ranking position, and the reality is that more than likely he is trying to do as much as he can to provide for you. I don't see anything about you two having kids. I don't really know what's going on there. If this is truly a deal breaker for you, then you need to have that conversation. This is something where realistically, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but apparently you do. And the reason you do is it's got nothing to do with him going to India. I don't think that you really fear for his life, even though you were talking about life insurance. That's never a good thing for a wife to constantly be talking about, especially if you're the husband. But I think that what you're hung up on more is the fact that he made a big decision before talking to you. So let's look at it from another angle. He felt like this was something he had to do. He felt like he had to be the one to go to India for some reason. Whether it was like I pointed out, where he feels like he's trying to prove himself to this company, whether it is that he's trying to do something to further his position within the company, to secure financial security for you and your children, if you have any, or if you plan on having any. What does it say that he felt as though he had to go behind your back in order to advance in this in his job, in his career, in his field? I think the two of you need to sit down and have a real talk. I don't know where your marriage is going, but just based on this one thing, I feel like this isn't the first instance that something like this has happened. Maybe it's never been, this magnitude. But I don't feel like this is the first time it's happened. I think the two of you should probably get some counseling. I love the title of this one. I'm going to read the hell out of it. This is from a 37-year-old female. My parents got divorced, and now my dad wants to move in with me. I'm genuinely conflicted. Her dad is a 60-year-old male. In case you didn't understand that dads are men. Sure, I'll get hate for that, whatever. Oh, no, this is a son that's writing this, and the son's wife, who's a 37-year-old female, wants him to move in as well. He'll be able to watch the kids and help out, but I really don't want him to. So, I don't see anything in here that says how old the kids are. The kids of the person who's writing this. It's never good to just assume that somebody is going to be there to do something. Now, perhaps maybe they said they'd help out. I don't know. Growing up, my dad was the biggest POS dad you can find. He was a tough love guy who resented the fact that he was wasting his prime years on me. When I turned 18, he kicked me out and I was forced to join. No, you were not forced to join the army. That was a choice that you made because it was the easy route. Do not blame this on your father. That was your choice. You need some counseling, dude. Just told me the day after graduation. Pack your dads, buddy. We're going down to the recruitment office and you're joining the army. You're a man now, not my problem. So I'm not doubting that this happened, but you let it happen. You really resent your dad. And now your dad is in a position where, you know, his own marriage has fallen apart in some way, shape, or form. And you're so stuck on what he did. I'm assuming close to 20 years ago, based on the age of your wife. I get it. You know, you could have married somebody older, but realistically, I'm just going to assume you're about the same age as your wife because you weren't kind enough to actually put your age in this post. Give your dad a chance. It feels like he wants to kind of do something. Not necessarily to make good on the bad things that he did, but he wants to move forward. The fact that he came to you, despite, you know, the whole army recruitment thing, which I'm sure ultimately set you up for an amazing career path, and you probably have an amazing job right now because of that. He's coming back, and he wants to build some kind of a relationship. I don't know what kind of a relationship you and your dad have had over the last 20 years, but he seems as though he wants to be there. I guess the decision is, do you want him to be there? Again, you don't list off your age, your children's age. And reading the last paragraph, you say, he's not going to get a job, he's going to leech off you, he's going to complain that he's too old, even though he looks young. So, let's go into a little story. Not necessarily a story, but I'm going to explain how things work in the world of psychology. You can tell a lot about a person from the way they describe other people and other people's intentions and other people's actions. I can tell from the way you set up this story that when you wrote that last paragraph, it was literally in the way that I voiced it. Oh, he's not gonna get a job. He's gonna leech off me and he's gonna complain. If your dad was here and he explained the situation and I read it out, would I get the feeling that the voice he would pick for you is the same as the voice that you've picked for him? Which is, in general, kind of a douchey voice. You resent your dad. You hate him. There is no hiding that. Not only do you hate him, not only do you resent him, but if he tries to move in a direction towards you where it's possible that the relationship between you and him could mend, you have already decided no. Now look, I get it. Ultimately, it was your dad who built this within you. But you've done nothing to fix it. I suggest you do move on with some form of therapy so that you can better understand relationships and eventually you can move on. And hopefully you can move on with your father. My boss, 52-year-old male, keeps playing matchmaker and trying to make me, 21-year-old female, date his son, 22-year-old male. Go to HR, file a report. Moving on. My sister told me I was a bad sister for not convincing her to have an abortion. That came out of nowhere. Mind blown. Let's look at this. So, my sister has a 3-year-old son. She had him. When she was only 16. So this is written from the 21-year-old's point of view. And it's the 19-year-old who had the son, who made horrible life choices, got pregnant at the age of 16, and now she's paying for it. Because she was too stupid in the past. Realistically, she's probably still not the brightest. I was the first person, besides her boyfriend, that she told that she was pregnant. At the time, I did advise her to have an abortion. She didn't want to because her boyfriend gave her false hope that he'll be involved in its life. Aw, isn't that sweet? 16-year-old boy said he'll be there forever. Wow. Unfortunately, I think a lot of young women at that age probably fall for that crap. Now the baby's dad isn't even there. and he just pays child support. Hey, look at that as a win. You're getting that child support. That's better than a lot of single mothers out there. Yesterday we got into an argument. She wanted me to babysit her son while she went out with friends. Okay. No, I'll hold off on it. There are things that I'd love to say, but I'll hold off on it. I told her I couldn't because I had to study. Then she kept begging, and I kept saying no, and she chose to be a mom. And she got all upset and said it's all my fault, and I was a bad sister because her big sister should have convinced her to have an abortion. Then she stormed off. Is this really all my fault? No, it's not. And it's not going to be hard to convince you that this isn't your fault. Let me break it down for you. Your sister made horrible, life-changing choices. That's on her. She did that, not you. You sound like you're going to college, and we don't even know if your sister graduated from high school. Your sister is continuing to make bad life choices. If anything, what's ultimately happening is your sister would probably love to make more horrible life choices, but she can't because she has a 3-year-old son. So what does she do? She's trying to make it your problem. She's trying to use you as her crutch so that she can continue going on making horrible life choices. It's okay for you to be there in your nephew's life, but don't be there too much. Don't be an ass about it, but you're growing up in your way, and your sister's trying to not grow up, but the reality is she's gonna have to. That sounds weird. Here we go. I love this. This is the perfect this this is the perfect explanation of how relationships end in today's society. Girlfriend just blocked me. What? Just missed 9 calls from my girlfriend. I was in the shower. Followed by a text saying, if you don't pick up my next call, I'm blocking you. We're both grown adults. You know, the funny thing is I dated a woman 4 years ago. And it was kind of going downhill a bit. And I was actually in taking a shower, and when I got out, I had a text message saying bye. Ugh, I feel you. I'm literally confused as to what's up and can't get a reach of her to find out. What do I do? She usually calls me until I pick up, but never has she blocked me. I honestly straight up feel emotionally abused. I just know somehow this is going to be my fault when I do get a hold of her and ask her what's wrong, help. So look, I'm going to give you the best possible advice, and chances are you're not going to want to hear it. Or deep down, you're going to know that it's really great advice. But it's going to be so hard for you to actually follow through with this. You ready? Don't call her. Don't text her. Don't contact her. Don't reach out to her in any way, shape, or form. Move on from this relationship. You already pointed out that you feel as though you've been emotionally abused, and realistically, this doesn't sound like, if the two of you came back together, that it wouldn't ultimately lead down this road again. She's already put you in a position where it feels as though you feel like you are the bad guy. You have done something wrong. The fact that you pointed out that she will just call you over and over and over again until you pick up, that's a horrible sign. We live in a world where, whether you are the kind of person who likes to talk on the phone, or if you're the kind of person who likes to just send a text message saying, hey, what's up? We live in a world where if you're away, the second you come back to your phone and you pick it up, you can see that you've missed a call. You can see that you've missed 2. You can see that you've missed 9. Look at this as a win. You get to move on from this relationship. You get to you get to figure out what it is about you that was desirable to her. Chances are the thing that was desirable to her about you was the fact that you were so easy to control. Maybe that's something you need to work on. Perhaps you should look for a therapist who can help you figure out what it is about you why it is that you sought out this relationship. Or perhaps you didn't seek it out, perhaps it sought you out, but you allowed it to happen. Don't contact her ever again. If you do that, all of a sudden you're the one with the power. Maybe you don't like having the power, but ultimately, it'll be a good thing for you. I hope it works out. So this looks like a good spot to just stop this first episode. If I can figure out where my mouse is. We're going to stop it, and then we're going to immediately start it up again. We're going to do another intro for advice. And hopefully we'll do like 6 or 7 of these tonight. So, yeah, that's that for this episode. Relationship advice.